to the
That's why we shine wherever we go. 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 Lord, Lord. Welcome to the mind of a pothead. On my head, see a young nigga got dressed. We don't give a fuck what the cop said. I'm living a legacy. So even when I die, I am not dead. Nigga, I am not dead. Fuck with me.
What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? Great afternoon to you, wonderful people. Welcome to this Monday edition of I Said What I Said. We are live from inside the What's In It for the Black People Media Studios alongside Toussaint Werner. My name is Howard. Each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we get together right here with you, and we discuss issues that are currently impacting the black community. We discuss how those issues impact us as individuals, but also how they impact us as a collective. And along with your help, we talk through many of these issues in the hopes of finding the optimum solutions for how we can overcome said issues. Again, we want to overcome them as individuals, but perhaps more importantly, overcome them as a collective. Thank y'all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of this conversation. As always, your input is valued. It is certainly appreciated. Anything you want to add to the conversation, feel free to do so. We will read through as many of your comments as possible while we go through the show. We would kindly request you please take a quick second to share the broadcast. Share it on your personal page. Share it even within your personal network with absolutely anyone that you think would add value to or find value in this particular conversation. It is our belief that the more like-minded individuals we can get to be a part of the conversation, the better the opportunities we have of reaching those aforementioned solutions. So please, 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 good people, if you would be so kind, take a quick second to share the broadcast. Again, this is I Said What I Said. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. My name is Herb. His name is Took us a while to get started, but how you, bro?
I'm here, brother. I'm here. You know what I mean?
I am always glad that you're here, my brother. I'm always glad that you are here, man. It's always an absolute honor and a pleasure to rock with you, man. Continues to be an honor and a pleasure, man. This I Said What I Said thing continues to do what it's doing, and it's fun, man. I enjoy it. I enjoy
development, man. Growth and development.
That's right, sevenfold.
I just said growth and development.
I just said sevenfold.
I'm just saying.
Most people won't even get it. But anyhow, yeah, man, it's been good. So I've been joking with who is that to be telling me that joke? I think Gardis, right? So every time I see Gardis, he just be fucking with me, like, yo, where two at? Right? And you know, we was talking about how people will always assume we together, and that's not necessarily the case. But lately, it kind of is the case.
Yeah, this weekend.
Lately, we be together a lot.
This whole last couple weeks, we've been together everywhere.
Yeah, we be together. We've been together everywhere, man.
We had fun this week, though.
Oh, we did.
We had fun this week.
This was a good week for sure. We had a real good time, man.
Herb almost made us a legend.
I almost forgot about that, except nobody will let me forget about it. People keep sending me messages and DMs. I'm talking about all kind of people, right? I got a message from Napoleon Harris. And so he like, who was it?
You should have sold Napo.
And you know, right? Napo played in the NFL for a long time, so now he's a politician, but he's still with the shit. He's like, who was it? So I haven't told nobody just yet, but I probably will.
We gotta wait though.
Yeah,
we gotta wait. How that pans out.
Oh, along those lines too, we are launching the I Said What I Said like group page, or the group feature within the I Said What I Said page, so that y'all can be able to, you know, have conversations and interact and propose ideas for the show and that kind of stuff. So that can be going on back and forth throughout the entire process. So that's going to launch, I think by the end of the show, that feature should be up on the I Said What I Said page. So the group feature will be available on that page so we can interact and hear y'all.
That's dope,
stuff.
man. Salute the Jules. I can't hear myself in the mic. I don't know if that's me. I don't know if that's this. I don't know what's going on, but whatever.
It might be your headphones, 'cause I can hear you when you talk.
No, okay, it's all good.
Check your connection to the headphone thing, 'cause I can hear you, man.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely huge shout out to Juliet Scott, man. She's trying to help us do all the shit that we're supposed to be doing. Me, so we just like, yeah,
we'll get to it.
We're gonna show up and talk and do what we do. But Jules is really being intentional about, you know, expanding the product
for the home team.
Yeah, she thinks the conversation is important and it needs to be expanded.
She's right though.
She's 100% right.
But I want to go stick with.
She get on my nerve, but she's 100% right.
I want to stick with the innuendo. I want to talk about the Moors.
Oh no, we getting into all that. But I'm saying that'll be a place where we can have, you know, some of those types of conversations as well. But yeah, man, we've been out, man. We was at the Moors Brewing Company. It's a black-owned brewing company. They had their launch party on last Friday, this Friday.
One of them days.
Everything is running together. I do not know.
I don't think it was Friday.
It was Thursday.
They did a thing Friday.
I think it was Thursday.
Must have been Thursday then.
Damn, right.
Damn, the thing was Wednesday.
No, it was Thursday. I remember it was Thursday because I said tomorrow come catch us at the car care event.
Okay, bet.
So that was Thursday. downtown, and it was super, super dope, man. It was a swanky spot on the rooftop. It was real, real cool, and the beer was fire.
Fire.
The Moore's beer is fire.
Y'all know I don't drink, but I was in there and I was like, man, I want another one.
Yeah, for real. Shout out to Dame and his whole team, man. They got a dope product, man. It's really, really good.
And it's not just black owned. It's like homegrown black owned, right? These is like all
CPS students,
CPS kids, Beasley, Whitney Young, University of Illinois, like that. Everybody in Chicago should know somebody associated with that group. Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, that's super dope, man. Yeah, and it was a good group of people in there. You know, a lot of people that I hadn't seen in a while. A lot of people I didn't know, but you know, a crowd of people that's familiar to the black community. Yeah, you know what I mean?
And it was so much love in the party for I Said What I Said. It was
amazing.
Like people just kept coming up like, yo, I watched the show. One sister was like, so I watch our show all the time, but I watch it from my Alias Facebook page.
I've heard that a bunch though. I've heard that from a bunch of people.
She was like, I watch it from my Alias Facebook page. I'm like, well, what's the name on the Facebook page? She's like, on my Alias Facebook is Candace. I was like, what, a Candace with an I? And she was like, yeah. She's like, that's me. I was like, oh yeah, I see that pop in quite often. She's like, yeah, that'd be me. I watched the show, and then her guy was there, and he was like, yeah, the show's dope as hell, man. We fuck with y'all, right? And so, but people just kept coming up like, man, we really like the show, or introducing themselves and just saying what's up, and like, it's good to meet you. I'm like, shit, it's good to meet you. Like, appreciate you for real. And so the love was definitely in the building. And then a lot of the fam was there. Q was out, Sister Africa was out, Brian Gorman was out. And so it was dope. It was hella dope. And so shout out to again to Damon and his whole team with the Moore's Brewing Company. It's hella dope until your man started bugging on me, man. I don't know what that was about, G. It was so random, dog.
What was funny though, right? So we having this conversation with said NFL Hall of Famer. Right. First of all, Herb was having a conversation with dude. I recognize dude, and
you recognize him before.
I recognized him first. I was like, man, that's such and such. Yeah. And you know, Herb is a football guy. I don't really give a fuck about no football players. You know what I mean? So I'm talking to other people. Right. You know what I mean? Engaging other people. And you know, Herb sparks up a conversation with him, and I'm next to Herb, but I'm not in a conversation. I'm talking to some whole other people, just enjoying the moment. And then I slide over, get in a conversation for a hot second. And dude's energy on GP is just not the kind of energy I like being around.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? He's like he was an egomaniac. Yeah,
it's just volatile. It's like any like a tick.
And I ain't mad at it because that's kind of a football thing. Though I'm accustomed to it.
That's cool.
I mean? But either way,
one of the things about football players when you like hang out with them or you meet them in public, you notice that they are real extra about who they are, right? And I think it has a lot to do with the anonymity of the football uniforms, the helmets, the shoulder pads. Nobody knows what football players look like. You just, number 81 or number whatever the hell. You know what I mean? Number 99. And so it's like nobody really knows them. Whereas like basketball players, they out there and
they make money out their face.
They playing in tank tops. You know what I'm saying? So everybody knows what they look like. When they outside, they go such and such, they go such and such. Football players, because they don't have that, but they still want you to know that, hey, a lot of times they'll introduce themselves to you like this. They be like, I'm Herb Howard. I'm a linebacker for the Bears. Or they'll say, I'm Herb Howard. I'm number 54 for the Cleveland Browns. It's like, okay, nigga, nobody asked you that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody asked you that. But you get that kind of energy a lot from football players, and it has everything to do with the football helmets, right? And so, yeah, he was definitely giving off a lot of that energy. But this dude you not that kind of anonymous. Like, you are.
Well known.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so it's like, yeah, you don't even have to be doing all that, but you are doing that. You got your Super Bowl ring on, you got your Hall of Fame ring on, and you can't stop flashing them. And it's like, yo, you bugging right now, fam. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it doesn't even make sense. And so we was talking, like Toussaint, man, me and the dude was just chopping it up for like a half hour. And it was cool. It was a cool conversation. We wasn't talking about football, nothing. We were talking about regular shit. You know what I'm saying? Just chopping it up. And it was cool. And then Damon comes over there, who owns Moore's Brewing Company, and he's Damon's homeboy. And so Damon like, man, I'm glad you got a chance to meet Herb. Did you meet too? And so we like, yeah. And he was like, man, this the podcast I want you to be on, right? And he was like, it's super dope. And so dude was like, okay, cool, let's do it. When y'all do the show? He was like, we do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. He like, cool, we can do it Monday. We can do it Wednesday, whatever, right? I'm like, that's cool, right? Folks is in the comments bugging. So anyhow, he like we could do it whenever, right? So we like, all right, cool. Then we just do it, right? And so then Damon's like, man, he's like, that's dope. You're gonna like it. It's a super dope show, right? And so dude said something to the effect of, whatever. I mean, I'm gonna do it if you want me to, but it's just another podcast. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else want me on another podcast or whatever. And I was like, nah, it ain't just another podcast. Like, our shit dope as hell. Like, you know what I mean? It's 100 million podcasts, just another one, right? And I was like, that's like somebody saying you just another football player, right? And he like, what? I'm first ballot Hall of Famer, yada, 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 yada. I'm like, I know. But what you're saying about my show is like me saying you just another football player. Like, you bugging. Like, it ain't just another show. Our shit raw as hell. And your man's just fucking told you that. And don't pop off about my shit in my face. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm just like, nah, it's like, I'm like, so when I tell him that it's just like saying you just another football player, he gets to wilding. Now the fucking ring shit is getting hella extra, and he putting his fucking Super Bowl ring in my face and his Hall of Fame ring in my face, and he yelling around, and he talking to his other people. He's like, this motherfucker just said I'm just another such and such football player. I'm like, first of all, I didn't say that, okay? I made an analogy that if you hadn't had 17,000 concussions, you probably could have picked up on that, right? And so now he's just charged up, right? He just charged up. So he turned face me like he want to square up, and his mans come in and step like be cool, right? And so I'm like, you can let him go, like for real, I clearly didn't come here for this, but I ain't ran from shit, fam. You're not gonna be the first person I run from. You got me fucked up. And so he like, get the fuck out of here. And I'm like, who you talking to? You get the fuck out. I don't want you here no more. I don't give a fuck what you want, boy. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, and so Damon like, Herb, come here for a second. I'm like, nah, hold on. Cause he's still like trying to, like, he wanna come, someone just hold on. And so he, whatever, his man's do whatever, and then Damon like, Herb, please just let me holler at you. Right? So I step off to the side with Damon, and Damon like, look, man, sometimes he be wilding, right? He was like, he likes my mans, but sometimes he just be wilding. And like, just let it go. I'm like, it's cool. And I was really just being apologetic to Damon that this even happened at his launch party, right? I'm like, man, I'm sorry that even happened. I'm like, I ain't do shit to him. Like, even his other homeboys was right there. They heard the whole motherfucking conversation. I'm like, your man just started bugging for no fucking reason. And so Damon was like, nah, I know, it's cool. Don't even worry about it, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, I'll tell you what. You can put us over there, right? Because it was two private sections, and there was one where dude was at, and we were also in that one. And I just told Damon, like, look, we can go to the other one over here. Like, I just move. We go over there. And Damon was like, nah, fuck nah. He's like, I want y'all right there. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like,
oh, that was supposed to be a private section?
Yeah, the two elevated spaces, right? So you had the big general space in the middle, and then that one elevated space that was off here with those couches, and the other one on the other side, right? And so I'm like, we just move over there. And he was like, nah, like, I want y'all right there. And I was like, all right, cool, right? And then they actually took him out. Like, his boys just like walked him out, and he left, and he was gone, and he was gone the rest of the night. We stayed the rest of the night. His guys came back, and I'm like, man, I don't know what's up with your mans, but that was interesting, for sure.
So
they went from 0 to 100 so fucking quick for no reason.
So that's the first time I heard the story.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not, I don't know, I guess, because I was there for the vast majority of it. And then I left. Yeah. Because it wasn't that kind of energy in my mind. Yeah. I wouldn't have left, right?
It was for no reason, G. For no fucking reason, dog.
But what I'm saying is, like, okay, so I remember the y'all ain't top 5 podcasts.
Right.
And that's when I got in the conversation.
Right.
Like, nah, motherfucker, we the greatest shit. Oh,
right. Period. Fuck you thought.
Right. But after that, I was like, okay, I'm bored with this.
Right.
Right. And I went into the crowd, and it was like 5-10 minutes later. They was like, man, what's happening with your boy Herb? And I'm like, what you mean? It's like, man, he yada yada yada. So now I'm going back over it. Right. You know what I'm saying? And he was already moved around.
Right.
So that it must have happened fairly fast because I was there for the other conversation. I didn't realize it was like that energy.
It happened. It happened real quick.
Way, the best part of this shit for me though was I ain't gonna lie. As soon as I got over there, I was like, Jay, you should have did it. We would have been legends.
If I just reached over,
because I would jump the couch, it'd have been a story to tell.
It would have been all kind of videos. Whole shit would have went viral.
We would have been legends.
We'd have been on ESPN.
We definitely made the ESPN.
It just would have said that he got his ass whooped by some Chicago niggas on the rooftop. That's all it would have said.
Hey, we would have been legends. That's the first thing came out of my mouth.
Oh,
we would have been legends.
It would have went
local podcast from I said what I said.
It would have went crazy. It would have went crazy. It would have went crazy. It would have just turned into. It would have been another Chicago street legend story. Like, some thugs from Chicago beat his ass. Like that's he was just bugging and we just wasn't for that.
But the long and short of it, this just adds to the Lil Rock fame. We got a Hall of Fame professional football player kicked out of a party while we stayed in his VIP section.
Because it's us. It's us. And so Dane was like, hey, I'm still gonna get him on your show. Don't worry about it. like, all right.
Dude said, I think Dude gonna come on too. So it ain't even no bad blood. The whole
It's not a problem. It's funny.
It's funny as hell to me.
I didn't have no problem with him that night. I definitely don't have a problem with him today. You can come here whenever you want, fam. He was just bugging, and I'm not for people bugging at me for about nothing.
Yeah, his partner was like, these are the effects of CTE.
Hey, them concussions is real, G.
That's the real shit.
Them concussions is real. They like them football hits. They comparable to like small car crashes, right? And you just do that shit over and over and over and over for 20 years, high school, 25. Like it's just your brain ain't meant for that shit. And so, there could be some residuals there, but yeah, it's no bad blood. I ain't got no issue with dude. We straight.
Yeah, that was the first thing that came out of my mouth. We would have been legends. That's exactly where my mind went. But then we went from there. We went up to 31st Street for a hot second.
Oh my God,
that was Freaknik Part 2.
That was Chicago at its absolute finest right there. It was me, you, Q, and Q homeboy. That's the other thing. Like it was me, you. Q was there, Brian was there, and everybody else that was like, we was gonna get on his ass in that motherfucking party. But anyhow, Dr. Tanksley, enlighten us about this because I don't know, man. CTE, I don't know. But anyway,
we CTE, PSD, either way, we got trauma too. So
right.
Act the fool if you want to.
Okay, we would all that. Fam.
Everybody will be operating off their trauma. Okay,
we would all that.
Just in case.
I played in the NFL 15 years. I grew up on the south side of Chicago.
Same shit, but
okay,
we equal.
I'm crazy too. we all off our rocket, this motherfucker. Okay, but nah, we left there and we went down to Pier 31 on 31st Street. And as soon as we get to 31st Street, it's fucking packed. It's cars everywhere, like fucking South Beach. It's just cars everywhere, and nobody's going nowhere, right? So we just park our car on the side on 31st Street, hop out, and just start walking. And because it was so late by the time we got there, Pier 31 was really shutting down. So everybody is walking west on 31st Street while we walking east on 31st Street. And so we passing everybody we know and just chopping it up and looking and observing and chopping it up. And it was just fun, man. The police was out there, but they knew it was nothing they could do. So all they was trying to do was like kind of hurry things along, but it was just like it was too much to like, I'm gonna ticket this car, ticket that car. Like, nah, you just wait it out. And so they was just out there waiting it out. And we got over to Pier 31, and shout out to Nikki owning that spot over there. She got us drinks and shit. Even the shit was closed.
After the joint was closed.
Yeah, it was closed. So we sit there, had the drink, whatever, and then we bounced. But that shit was dope. The energy out there was just live for real. Mm-hmm. That whole thing was dope, man.
And then Friday we shut the city down.
Friday was bananas.
It was. G.
Friday was bananas, man. The car caravan, I don't know if I want to call it a carburetor or a caravan, but that joint was fire. All right, we started on the west side. Started at we met up at Malcolm X College, and everybody started to line up and hang their flags off the cars and whatnot. And then we left from there and went west. Right, we left from Malcolm X College and then went west so we could hit the west side. Shout out to 290, man. We was all through the west side. We went to like Cicero or something. Actually, we went to like Austin, didn't we? Because I remember seeing the Oak Park police at some point.
We stopped at Oak Park, like to the edge of. Well,
yeah. So we went to Austin.
Yeah.
So we went west to Austin, then I don't know, south, and then came back up Madison.
It was like a real zigzag ass.
Yeah, and then we came back up. We came back up Madison, hit like Madison Pulaski. Then we went from the west side, clear through to the Gold Coast, and then through downtown, and it was just buck wild like that. So my favorite part of the whole thing is watching white people's faces when we was coming through, running lights and keeping the thing going, because we took over the whole city. Like we was riding from the west side all the way out to the Porter Music. Like the whole city was us.
So that was my favorite part too, but for different reasons.
It's just watching, they were so salty. And then when they realized that we had, at one point, we had police escorts, and for most of it, we had an ambulance escorting us, right? And I remember the look on these two old white ladies' face at the corner of 18th and Halsted. When we went there to make that left, right there by that Maxwell, it was two old white ladies sitting right there. And so they as the procession is going along, they just looking like, what the fuck is going on, right? It's all these cars, and it's stretched for about a mile at least, right? And so they looking like, what the fuck is going on? All these fucking red, black, and green flags have the car, and everybody blowing their horn, and the light change, and nobody stops. We keep on going. We block traffic with the two cars, and then we just keep on going. And they looking like, what the fuck? They think they're gonna cross the street. No, you're not. Like, you're gonna sit your ass there and fucking wait. And so they sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? And then when the ambulance pulls up and blocks it off, they was too outdone. They was done. That shit was so fucking funny. That was my favorite part.
So Herb was kind of what would you call that? Like herding the traffic. You know what I'm saying? Herb and our other brother Archers was herding the traffic.
Yeah, shout out to Butter and Q too.
Yeah, everybody else was out there.
And Gardis. Like that was the main foe. That was the main foe that was kind of like shepherding the thing.
Right. So I rode my bike to the west side with my baby girl. So
and my man in the white truck, James too.
We rode on the float. Right. So I had the mic the whole time.
Right.
So in regards to like white people and their energy, this shit was hilarious.
See, I think next year I'm gonna ride the fucking lead float with y'all.
You gotta ride the float, G.
But it's so fun. I like to drive so much, and that part of the thing is so necessary. Like, because otherwise it gets fucked up.
It is.
And so that part is necessary. So I'm a little bit torn, but I kind of want to ride the float too.
And I had no intention. Like I was gonna be on the float, but I had no intention of being on the microphone.
Yeah.
But TJ abandoned his position and forced me to be on the microphone. Matter of fact, I just got my voice back today. I've been struggling with my voice since Friday. You know what I mean? But
that's why I kind of want to do the mic too. So I kind of want to ride the float and do the mic and be outside and wild. And Cassie, her energy was on 50 the whole time. Cassie, shout out to Cassie, man.
And doing routines and everything. So
Bella was on the lead float.
Yeah, we had a ball, man. But again, I got no tact. You know what I mean? So I'm doing whatever little black power, black pride, black chance that we kind of got going. But when we ride past those white folks, and I'm intentional, right? So I'm like, I'll say something like, hey, you white man, hey, you. Like, you're not just going to ignore me. I don't like that kind of energy, right? So after a while, it just became a game, man. So I was like pointing out white people. Me and Bella was making bets on if I could make them put the black power fist in the air. So avoiding me wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? It just wasn't going to happen. So I was irritating the shit out of some white folks that whole ride.
Some people was being allies. Some people was like stopping and applauding like white people or whatever. And at some point, these two Asian women like joined the parade. And they had the flags and all, and they was with us like.
It was a bunch of. I saw a few black Puerto Rican solidarity flags.
Yeah.
The Puerto Rican flag, but in all black and white. There was the LGBTQ solidarity flag and car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was deep.
It was deep and it was dope. Like it was so dope, man. And the energy of the whole thing is just amazing, man. I need to enjoy it more. Like trying to keep it like trying to shepherd the fucking herd along is like work. So it was like 6 hours of my brain just never cutting off, like steady trying to, you know what I'm saying, do this, do that. But I was still enjoying it, man. It was absolutely beautiful. Shout out to everybody who came. Shout out to everybody who had any hand in it, man. Shout out to TJ and everybody, man.
The whole Black Culture Week experience is a dope experience, though, too. Like, I know some of the people on here was talking about, I'm glad to see y'all back on the show, whatever. But if you all are not following the I Said What I Said Facebook page directly, you all missed out on conversations that we had this week because the studio closed, but that didn't mean we stopped doing what we was doing.
Right.
And this week we did a partnership with the Black Culture Week Project, and we had a bunch of conversations with a bunch of guests. Like over the last week, we probably had 7 or 8 guests.
Yeah.
And it was still some great enlightening conversations. So if you're not following the I Said What I Said page, you should go on over to that page right now.
Yeah, those panel discussions were super, super dope last week.
Super dope.
I thoroughly enjoyed both of those conversations last Monday and last Wednesday. They are up on the I Said What I Said page, so y'all can check those out. But yeah, man, that like the whole week, all of it was super, super bomb. Had a really, really good time on Friday. I ended up having to peel off at 75th and State. Once we came back south, went through Hyde Park, hopped on Stony Island, and then we went south on Stony Island, made the right on 75th to go west, like towards Inglewood and shit. Once we got to the Dan Ryan right there at 75th and State, I hopped back on the Dan Ryan to go north because I had dinner reservations downtown, and so I had to leave. That's where I left y'all at. So I don't know anything that happened after 75th and State. I wasn't there for that, but
it was all good. After 75th, on 75th was interesting though because they had the incident over there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So when we hit 75th, what you noticed was this huge cadre of police presence. And you saw the black group Activists out there too. So Activists is some 95th Street cats that they kind of raised me. I won't say I grew up with. They older than me, but they was out there on the ground doing protection too. So there's a lot of black people on 75th Street. Not that the ride is kind of it's the far south side. I love the far south side. I'm from the far south side, but it's not that much action.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The one disheartening moment, though.
That shit was sad. That shit. I was just finna get to that.
Yeah, it was one very disheartening moment as we hit the Michigan Avenue corridor. Michigan Avenue.
On Michigan Avenue in broad daylight.
Broad daylight, probably like around 4 or 5 high traffic.
That was about that time.
Yeah, it's high traffic, packed area.
And we 100 cars deep.
100 cars deep. Now, mind you, I'm on the lead float. So I can pretty much, and I'm saying lead float, but it's really only one float. The rest of it is just kind of cars. So I can legitimately see all the way from the front to the back of the whole caravan. And that might be a 6 to 8 block difference from the front to the back.
Easy.
You know what I mean? And sometimes even more depending on if we turn the corners or not. You know what I mean? But I see 2 young boys running through the car caravan, maybe 3-4 blocks back. But they running with intention. And I'm from the south side. So when you see cats running with that kind of intention, immediately your tentacles go up and say, what the hell is happening here? And in the midst of seeing that, I was just kind of paying attention to where they was going, and they shot through the caravan. They didn't stop. They shot through the caravan and ran east toward the lake.
I see all y'all saying that. I'm gonna try to figure out what's going on. I don't. It's hard for me to figure it out because I really don't hear it. But I see all of y'all saying that, and y'all saying there's a lot of it.
I don't know either. I'm trying to. Maybe it's happening in here. I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, I see them run fast east toward the lake, and once they kind of passed through the caravan, I really wasn't tripping on what they did. It ain't my issue no more. But immediately after I see this first group of these young boys run, I see a car that looked as if they was in our caravan pull out into oncoming traffic and swing a U-turn, like rough U-turn. And again, this is all happening in real time. You can hear it?
Yeah, when I listen to it on my phone, I can hear it too. I'll figure it out in a minute, y'all.
This is all happening in real time. So as she hits this hard U-turn, I see what appears to be someone getting ran over, right? And I got concerned at that point. So now I'm like, man, what the hell is happening? But again, I'm on the lead float with Cassie and Bella. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, damn, this is 6 blocks back, 4 blocks back. I can't hear nobody talking on their phone because the music and all that stuff is loud. So I tried, I think it was Q or James that rode up in the car at the time, and I'm like, man, something's happening back there. I need y'all to double back. But that was the best really I could do with the intention. But long story short, man, what happened was that someone tried to hijack.
Yeah, I'll give you the other perspective because I was in the back. Okay. And this happened. This happened almost right in front of me. Right. I see these 3 young dudes, right, young black dudes, and they run out into the street, and what they start to do was they start pulling on car doors, right, and they just pulling on car doors, and yeah, DJ, let me finish this story, and then we figured out we start to like mute the mics and figure out which one, like what's causing that. But they start to pull on the car doors, right, and so. As they pull on these car doors, they can't get into any of them, right? They can't get into any of the cars at the moment. And so they finally get up to the sister's car. Her window was down. He tried to pull on her door, but her window was down. And so he tries to like reach into her car, right? And as he does that, she just kind of whips the car, and she goes from the southbound lanes on Michigan and did a whole U-turn and whipped it around to the northbound lanes on Michigan. And he's literally hanging off of her truck, right? He's literally hanging off of her truck, and she do a donut, and he falls off her truck in the street. Now, at this point, I had finally got...
She rolled him over, though. When he fell off, she rolled him over. I saw that part.
Okay. When he finally followed the truck, I was able to get up enough to an intersection. So now me and the dude who was driving the white Jeep with no doors on it at all, me and him start going southbound on Michigan in the northbound lanes, right? Just to get up to the corner where she was at. So we start driving on the wrong side of the street to get up to where she was at, and that's when she's like whipping him around, and he fell off. This motherfucker hits the ground, boom, pops up and dips. Like his adrenaline had to be on 1,000 because he should have been fucked up, right? But what had happened was apparently they had like robbed or done something in the store over there. And so they was just trying to get out of there and flee. More so than steal anybody's car. They was trying to get away from whatever they had already done. Because 2 of them had on ski masks. And so whatever they had already done, they was trying to get away from that, right? And for whatever reason, they chose all of these cars with these red, black, and green flags on them that's driving in this procession, and they just start pulling on doors. And so we got to the next light. We pull up to the sister, checking on her, making sure she was all right. She was like breathing real heavy, but she's like, I'm fine. It's just like she just needed a second. And yeah, that shit was like here we are in the middle of celebrating blackness and showing all the love possible. You want to do some shit like this in the middle? Like that shit was so fucked up, man. I felt so bad for the sister, but she was a true soldier. She ain't stopped. She kept going with the whole processional. She didn't pull off and leave. She kept on riding, and yeah, that shit was super, super fucked up. But that was a very bad blemish on the otherwise perfect afternoon.
Yeah, I want to say a little bit more about that too, but I hear a lot of people complaining about the crackling, so we're gonna take a quick break and see if we can figure out what's going on with this crackling noise.
That sounds awesome.
Come back and finish that story.
All right, cool.
WIFTPM. Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with black group letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the divine nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black group events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black group members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black group letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Shop Private Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Yo. Boy, you niggas talk too much. Fuck that chitter chatter. If a nigga snake me, I'ma turn his ass to Casper. You been trapping all your life, still broke, you hustling backwards. If my bitch give you eye contact, then you can have her. Turn her to my old hoe, so I'll be looking past her. Don't mind me, I just keep it church like a pastor. You couldn't even imagine what it took to get it here. Ay, I just ran through 100,000 last year. Keep that on the hush. Don't tell my baby mama's child support and hunt me like I know what you did last summer. Ay, real niggas weird, think these niggas bitches color pink. They probably somewhere washing their pussy in the fucking sink. Let that sink in. I put that on the fan. If a nigga cross me, they won't cross nobody again. Ay, many men they hate me, but they bitches wanna date me. Ay, baby, I've been going crazy. I've been on my lady smoking presidential Ronald Reagan. I don't do nothing basic. They report live from the basement, ballin' like a pacer. I'm getting that fast money in the fast lane like a racer. Ain't got a Glock with a 50 clip in a race. All your data, ayy. Headshot or leave a fuck nigga on the pavement, ayy. This mama better pray for her and they hope that ambulance save her, ayy. Will he live or will he die? His lifeline on the maybe, ayy. That's what he get for fucking with me. This shit real, that's on baby, ayy.
What's going on, good people? So we are trying to figure out what that crackling noise is. She-Raw, we appreciate you for letting us know that was going on, because we couldn't hear it, right? I do hear it coming through the broadcast, but I don't hear it in my headphones. So appreciate you letting us know. But I'll tell y'all what we're gonna do. We're gonna shut it down, and then we're gonna relaunch it, right? So we're gonna shut it down and we're gonna relaunch it right back. So y'all the broadcast will end here in a second, and then we're gonna relaunch it. So y'all just pop back in. I see y'all on the What's in It for the Black People Media page. I see y'all on the I Said What I Said page. Just pop back in. We'll be right back. I just gotta shut it down and see what is causing that crackling noise, because I know it's got to be irritating the hell out of y'all. It's irritating me once I start to hear it. So I apologize for the inconvenience.